Hi guys, so today we're going to go over our review quiz that we took yesterday. We're going to go through and I'll work the problems for you. Make sure that you have them correct on your paper. Your quiz is already graded, so just try to find where your errors were and what you need to watch out for your test tomorrow. Okay, so number one was just a combining like terms problem. We have this negative right here that needs to be distributed to all the terms in this second set of parentheses. So we're going to have 4x squared plus 2x minus 7 from that first set. And the second set, all the signs are going to change. So we'll have negative x squared plus 4x minus 3 because we were multiplying this negative throughout. So when we combine our like terms, 4x squared minus x squared is 3x squared. 2x plus 4x is a positive 6x. And negative 7 minus 3 is a negative 10. So 3x squared plus 6x minus 10 is that answer. On number 2, this one is a product rule. So product rule says that we're going to multiply our coefficients and add our exponents. So we'll have 6 times 2. We'll have f squared times f cubed, so f to the 2 plus 3. G, this g has a 1 as an exponent, so g to the first plus 4. And then the h to the fifth, that's the only one we have. So when we simplify this, we get 12, f to the fifth, g to the fifth, h to the fifth. Number 3 is a power rule. So with the power rule, we're going to distribute this power to all the powers on the inside. And remember, this negative 7 has a power of 1. So we're going to distribute that 2 to all those powers as well. All right. So when we do that, we are going to take this negative 7. Its original power is 1. So 1 times 2. Then we have an m to the third. And that 3 gets multiplied by 2. And then we have an n to the fifth. And that 5 gets multiplied by 2. So we end up with negative 7 to the 1 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So negative 7 to the second power. If we put that in the calculator, we get 49. And remember, we have to put in the calculator with the parentheses. If you had points off because you have negative 49, it's because when we multiply negative 7 times negative 7, negative times negative becomes a positive. So if you put it in the calculator but did not put the parentheses, then it's going to show up as a negative 49 instead of positive. But the correct answer is positive. M to the 3 times 2 becomes m to the 6th. And n to the 5 times 2 becomes n to the 10th. Okay? Our next one, number 4, this is a quotient rule problem. So the quotient rule says that we're going to simplify any coefficients that we have. So 12 divided by 4 is going to become 3. We're going to subtract our exponents. So a to the 4 minus 2, b to the 2 minus 1, and c to the 9 minus 5. So a to the 4 minus 2 becomes a squared. B to the 2 minus 1 becomes just b to the first. If you write the 1 there, that's fine. If you didn't, that's good too. c to the 9 minus 5 becomes c to the 4th. And the last one that we have here on number 5 is our rational exponent rule. And with our rational exponent rule, remember, we take this index and we're going to divide that index into each of the powers on the inside. Now, we have to remember that the 8 has a power of 1. So 8 to the 1 over 3, x to the 3 over 3, y to the 21 over 3, and z to the 18 over 3. If we put 8 to the 1/3 power in the calculator, okay, the 1/3 as our exponent, then we get an answer of 2. When we do 3 divided by 3, we get x to the 1st. 21 divided by 3 would be our y to the 7th. For z, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay? So here are our final answers for the front of the page, for the front of the quiz, numbers 1 through 5. Okay? Take a look and see how you did. What were your errors? Did you maybe forget to put parentheses around the -7 on number 3? Did you maybe forget to put the 8 to the 1/3 power in, and you ended up with an 8 instead of a 2? Okay. Figure out what your error was and try to take care of that for tomorrow. Make sure on your test tomorrow that you remember not to make that error again, okay, that you watch for that. This, I forgot to write here. This number 3 was the power rule. Okay, so let's go move on to 6 through 10. Okay, number 6, write an equation equivalent to this polynomial. It's just ask us to simplify this. Okay, so I have a 3a squared. I have an a squared minus 4a. This is all combining like terms. So I have a positive a squared minus 4a. And I have this plus 8 that I'm going to stick over here. Then we have this negative. This negative gets distributed inside this parentheses right behind it. So it changes all the signs. So we have another plus a squared plus 7a and a minus 6, because this, when we distribute this negative, it changes all those signs. So when we add this up, okay, when we put this all together, 3a squared plus a squared plus a squared, we get 5a squared. Negative 4a plus 7a, we get a plus 3a. And 8 minus 6, we get a plus 2. Okay? So there's our final answer for number 6. 5a squared plus 3a plus 2. Number 7, this word problem tells us that we have a rectangular prism that has a width of x squared feet, a length of x cubed, y cubed feet, and a height of y feet. We're going to write an expression that represents the volume in cubic feet of this rectangular prism. Okay, so it gives us the volume formula, length times width times height. So our length is x cubed, y cubed. Our width is x squared, and our height is y. Now, to simplify this, I'm going to use my product rule. Okay. So with my product rule, I'm adding the I'm adding the exponents from the like bases. So x to the 3 plus 2, y to the 3 plus 1. And that's going to simplify to give me x to the 5th, y to the 4th. Okay. On number 8, we've got a couple of rules going here. We've got a negative rule and we have a quotient rule. So if we want to just use the quotient rule, we can. I kind of like to get rid of my negatives first. So I'm just going to rewrite this without negative exponents. I'm going to move my negatives to where they need to go. So 15x squared, this x to the negative third is going to go up. So I'm going to have x to the third power, because when it moves to the other side of the fraction, it becomes positive. I have y cubed. I have a z to the negative 8th and then a z to the negative 4th. Those two are going to switch places since they're both negative. So this z to the 4th is going to come here. The 9, the y squared, and the z to the 8th will go on bottom. And that simplifies everything, so we only have positive exponents now. When I simplify 15 over 9, I get 5 over 3. Now that I've moved things around so I only have positive exponents, my x's now have a product rule going on, because x times x. So 2 plus 3, I'll have x to the 5th power. My y's, okay, over here, this is what I did. I did 2, x to the 2 plus 3. That gave me x to the 5th. Okay. My y's, I'm going to have y to the 3rd minus 2. So it's just going to give me a y. So that's going to stay on top. I have a z to the 4th minus 8. So that's going to give me z to the negative 4. That negative means it's going to stay on bottom. So I'm going to have a z to the 4th on bottom. Okay. On number 9, the area of a rectangle is 36a to the 8th, b to the 7th square feet. If the width of the rectangle is 12, a to the 4th, b to the 3rd feet, write an expression that represents the length of the triangle. If you remember, area equals length times width. So if I'm given the area and the width, and I'm looking for the length, area divided by width equals our length. So I'm going to take the information I know. I know my area is 36a to the 8th, b to the 7th, divided by 12, a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. Now I'm going to use my quotient rule. Okay. So with my quotient rule, I'm going to have 36 divided by 12. I'll get 3. I'll do my a to the 8th minus 4. Okay. Because I'm going to subtract my exponent. So 8 minus 4. I get a to the 4th power. And I'm going to have my b to the 7th minus 3. And get b to the 4th there. So 3a to the 4th, b to the 4th. And for the last one, I have this expression that I need to simplify. And if I look at my answer choices, I do have a couple of negative exponents. So we might not have to change it to where it's, if we do end up with a negative exponent, we'll have it there. All right. So x to the 6th, x to the 5th. This is going to be a product rule. And then after we finish the product rule, we've got this x to the 15th on bottom. Then it's going to be a quotient rule. Okay, so I'm going to have x to the 6th plus 5 over x to the 15th. Well, that's x to the 11th over x to the 15th. Okay. So now my 11 doesn't want to separate. So now when I do my quotient rule, I'll do x to the 11 minus 15. And 11 minus 15 is going to be 4, negative 4. So x to the negative 4th is our final answer, and that is option C. Okay. All right, guys, you have a review sheet. You need to go through this quiz at home, study it, make sure that you know where your errors were so you can avoid them on your test tomorrow. Do your review sheet, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, great evening, and do well on your test. Bye.